Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who do not know me, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you guys stopped by today. I'm excited about today's video. It's going to be a lot of fun. I had my husband pick out 10 eyeshadow palettes for me to rank. I showed him where my eyeshadow palettes were, had him just go in and pick 10 of them, and I'm gonna go through which ones he picked, then quickly I'm going to put them in order so that I can rank them. So this first setup is just me showing you which eyeshadows he picked, and then I will go in and organize them and rank them. I think he did a pretty good job with what he picked, just from what I can see here. It'll be a bit of a challenge for me to rank these. So the first one here is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. It looks like this. I don't want to blind you guys with the mirror, but hi, look, you guys can see yourselves maybe. That's you, yay. Sorry. This is what it looks like on the inside. Then we have the Paulina palette by Blush Tribe. That is what this one looks like. Up next is the Violet Voss, the Rainbow Eyeshadow Palette. That is what this one looks like. Then we have the Hasina 2 palette by Blush Tribe. This one's made a few appearances in some videos. Then we have the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. What it looks like. Ooh, that is quite the gingerbread smell. Then we have the Urban Decay On the Run Bailout palette. The Studio Makeup Ease to Wear eyeshadow palette. The Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. Ooh, wow, okay. I didn't see this one was in there. Moon Spell by Lunar Beauty. Sorry, I'm trying not to blind you guys, but I seem to be losing that battle. And then the ABH Norvina Volume 3 palette. Ugh, can I get it open? Looks like this. So quickly, I am going to pop off camera, organize these, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have them arranged in the order of going from 10 to 1. So the palette that I like the least to the palette that I like the most. I'm hoping to do some more of these because I think this will be fun, just having him come in and pick out random eyeshadow palettes, especially since this could be any kind of, it could be done in any order. There's so many options for selecting 10 eyeshadow palettes. It could be a very, very interesting thing because I could get a bunch of palettes that I absolutely love and it could be the hardest thing, or I could get some palettes that I absolutely love and some that I don't really like, and maybe this will help me get those palettes out of my collection. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette that fell into the number 10 spot is the Studio Makeup Ease to Wear eyeshadow palette. I bet you guys can guess why this guy found itself in 10th place. It's just kind of a boring neutral palette. Yes, is this an easy palette to wear and to do work appropriate looks? Yes, but look at my face right now, you guys. Does this face look like it wants to wear neutrals every single day? No, it doesn't. Will it wear neutrals because of work? Yes, but does it want to? No. So this is why this one found itself in the 10th spot. It's not a bad palette, and if you guys like this palette, I totally get it. It's an easy to use palette, but it's just not one that tugs at my heartstrings. Okay, so the palette that finds itself in 9th place is the Too Faced Gingerbread palette. This is what it looks like. You guys will know that I do like this palette. It is a little bit more colorful, but I don't necessarily love the formula. I find with some shades that I really have to work to build them up, and with others they go on easy. The shimmers aren't the best quality shimmers in this. I strictly bought this because it has adorable packaging. Is that a reason to buy a palette? No. Will I use it as a reason to buy an eyeshadow palette from time to time? Yes. But this one is in 9th place. It's a gorgeous palette. I'm just not the biggest fan of Too Faced quality. For one, it's all kind of all over the place. And even within this palette, it's a little bit all over the place. Wow. This is making me be really honest about some things and really kind of think about why I like it or don't like it. The 8th place palette, and I think this one will surprise you guys a little bit, just because it's not 9th, and that is the Urban Decay Bailout palette. My old boss actually purchased this for me. It was very nice of her. She didn't have to, and this is a palette that I really do like. It was funny because when she purchased it for me, she said she questioned getting this one for me, and I even told her, I was like, you know what, it's a good idea. I don't have that many neutral palettes, but I like that this one is a neutral palette with a pop of purple. I'm not somebody who would normally put a purple with browns or even this kind of like shimmer here that has a little bit of purple reflect. It's a very unique kind of concept, but I do really like it, and I used it a lot when I was in Yellowstone with my husband. It was just easy. It was easy to go with. I actually really like the formula in this. This little palette right here has made me question whether or not I should pick up more from Urban Decay. They have a green little palette like this that I'm contemplating. I kind of wish Urban Decay would do smaller palettes like this. I think that they would do a really good job with that, and I kind of wish they would completely just ditch the Naked line. The palette that finds itself in 7th place is my Violet Voss Rainbow palette. This is an all shimmer palette, and that is one of the reasons that it is on the lower end of this list. I do absolutely love this palette. I think it is gorgeous in its color story. It's a rainbow, you guys. You guys know how I feel about rainbow palettes. I love them. I love rainbow palettes. I love colorful eyeshadows, so this was right up my alley. I think that these perform very, very well, but is this a palette that I could grab and use on its own? No. And again, that's because it is all shimmers, and I'm somebody who does like to put mattes in my crease and use matte eyeshadows to kind of have a well-rounded look. This one was kind of tricky because I wasn't sure where to put this one, and I kept kind of playing with and changing up how I was putting these palettes in order. So the next two palettes, I kind of kept switching back and forth, and then I finally got myself to settle on an order with these, and it took a bit of time. It was a struggle. I am a very indecisive person, and so I'd be curious to see if I got like a similar order of palettes, how that would go. But anyway, enough of that, enough rambling. This is the 6th place palette here. It is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. It looks like this. You guys know that my heart is very much with greens. I mean, look at my eye. Look, there's green. I have a green lip on. I have a green lower lash line. I went very green with the look I have on today. But I am not the biggest fan of this palette, and that's just because I think it needed to be a little bit more well-rounded. I know that they were just going with the shades of an avocado, but I wish they would have done a little bit more, gone into a little bit deeper, and went there. I do like this. I think the shimmers in this are beautiful. The matte shades are what is kind of lacking for me, but it is overall a decent palette, especially for the I Heart Revolution brand, but it did find itself in number 6. Okay, we're getting to the top 5, and you guys know that the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette is left somewhere in the top 5. Just gonna throw that out there. I did this purely based on kind of my feels towards the palette and not towards the brand. I just kind of want to put that out there before I get moving on and we get rolling with. It always makes me nervous when I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that, but I do have some unsavory brands in my collection that might make an appearance in these videos from time to time. Just a heads up. So number 5 is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Palette Volume 3. This is my favorite out of the Norvina palettes. Just gonna throw that out there, but it is not my all-time favorite palette in the collection. I love the color story of this. I think it is perfect for fall. It's a lot of fun. I do kind of wish the shimmers worked better. That is my one gripe. Like the mattes work just fine. The shimmers I think need a little bit reworking. And I would say that these palettes are not the standard ABH palette formula. They just aren't. They're not up to quality. Like if I use this against some of the other Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, they're not quite the same. And it could just be that these are more pigments than anything else, but I do like this one. This one is the one I like the most out of all of the 3 that I own. And it is in number 5 just because to me it works better than the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado palette. It is just better quality. I mean, it's Anastasia Beverly Hills, which generally has great quality. Okay, so number 4 in this lineup is going to be the Paulina Beauty palette. I absolutely love this palette so much. I love all the creative looks. I have great memories with using this palette. I was so excited for Paulina when she got to collab with Blush Tribe. I thought that was so cool and so awesome of Blush Tribe to create a palette with Paulina. I love the shimmers in this palette. I love the mattes. I think this palette works really well, and it is one of my favorite Blush Tribe palettes. I would say it is in the 4th place just because the top 3 palettes I think perform better than this one. If I had had a different selection of palettes, I think this one would have been ranked a lot higher, but because of the other palettes and just the quality of them, this one is going to have to be in 4th place. The palette that ranked number 3 is my Magic Mini palette by Juvia's Place. These shimmers in this palette do not compare to any of the other shimmers in my collection currently. These are such good shimmers that I had to rank this higher. The moment I saw that this one was in the pile of palettes that I would be ranking today, I was like, you know what? We're going to... I was like, you know what? That is definitely going to be in the top 3. I wasn't sure where it would fall because I wasn't sure how I was going to rank these until I started really looking at the palettes and I determined that this would be in 3rd place. And I like the mattes, but this is in 3rd place because it does not have more mattes, and there are some times when I play with this that I do wish it had more mattes. I know that the shimmers are stellar in this. They absolutely are. There's no arguing that. There's no doubting that. These are such good shimmers. But the palettes that I have in 2nd and 1st place just beat this. They hold a very special place in my heart. So that is why the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place found itself in 3rd place. So palette number 2, I think will kind of surprise you that this is not my top choice, just because this is the palette that I absolutely love and will talk about anytime I can. And I'm really sad that it is no longer available, but it is the Hasina 2 palette. You guys know I love this color story. I love the mattes. I love that there's a black shade included. I just absolutely love this palette. It is one of my favorite Blush Tribe palettes out of all of the Blush Tribe palettes that I own in my collection. It is one that I wish people could still get just so that they could try Blush Tribe's formula as well as have this color story in their collection. It has my favorite shades to wear: purple, green, and blue. What's on my eyes? Purple, green, and blue. And I did not create this look using this palette. I used a different one, but I just thought it was funny that it's like the same color story. I love the shimmers. I love the mattes. I love how this all plays together. I just think it's an absolutely gorgeous palette, and I really do enjoy the formula. And that is why this one found itself in 2nd place. Are we ready to find out what number 1 is? I bet if you guys think about it, you could guess which one number 1 is, and I don't think you guys would be surprised. This is the Moonspell palette by Lunar Beauty. The color story is so unique and so beautiful and just top tier. I mean, I know it is greens and purples, kind of like the Hasina too, but there's unique twists to this one that make it work really, really well. The packaging is out of this world. It is just some of the most thought out packaging I have in my entire collection. I love, love, love this palette. I think it would probably win against a lot of palettes in my collection. It's one that it's one that if I didn't have other eyeshadow palettes in my collection, I would probably play with a heck of a lot more. It is absolutely stunning and I absolutely love this palette. The mattes are absolutely gorgeous. The shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. I think this is really, really high quality, and I think Manny MUA did a really good job creating this palette, and that is why this one is number one. Well, out of curiosity, how would you have ranked these palettes? Would you have put them in a different order? Do you agree with the order that I put them in? Leave that down in the comment section down below. I will be having my husband pick out random palettes here and there again just to do more of these videos because I do think that they are a lot of fun, and it's kind of fun having me go through and think about, okay, if you had 10 palettes, what's your most favorite to your least favorite, or you know, vice versa. I think it's just a lot of fun to kind of go through that thought process and really kind of take a look at my palettes and think about what I have in my collection. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and that you will give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and leave a comment down below so that we can chat. Well, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night, and bye!